Hare Krishna. First canto, chapter 7, the son of Drona punished. We have recited the shlokas of the chapter. So now let's see what is there in this chapter. This chapter is interesting. The drama starts between the Pandavas. Vyasadeva's vision and glories of Bhagavatam. Okay. Vyasadeva's vision and glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. Vyasadeva teaches Bhagavatam to Shukdev Goswami. So what happened after Narad Muni left? Narad Muni leaves in the previous chapter, chapter 6. We saw after giving the instruction to Vyasadeva. Now Narad Muni left. Now Vyasadeva, he sits in meditation and he sees in his samadhi. And he also sees the Lord, he sees the Jiva, he sees Maya Devi, and he sees the process of solution for the Jiva's salvation, that is Bhakti Yoga. And that's why he gives us Bhagavatam. And Vyasadeva teaches Bhagavatam to Sukadeva Goswami. The lamentation for Pandava, then the storyline starts. So actually, your unit 2 ends here till text 11. Till text 11, unit 2 ends here. And then from text 12 starts unit 3, or according to Bhakti Vaibhava curriculum. Okay. Now, lamentation of Pandavas, dead sons. Then Arjuna captures Ashwathama and arguments regarding killing of Ashwathama. Interesting episode. Okay, so Vyasadeva's vision and glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. Shaunaka Rishi inquired that after Narada's departure, what did Vyasadeva do? Sukadeva Goswami replied, Rishi Shaunaka asked, O Suta, the great and transcendental powerful Vyasadeva heard everything from Sri Narad Muni. So after his departure, what did he do? He heard everything from Narad Muni. So just like Vyasadeva asked this question, similar question to Narad Muni, that, oh my dear Narad Muni, after the Bhaktivedantas left, what did you do? Natural question. After they left, what did you do? Similarly, the rishis are asking the same question, that after Narad Muni left, what did Vyasadeva do? Okay. So in this chapter, the clue for describing Srimad Bhagavatam is picked up as Maharaj Parikshit is miraculously saved in the womb of his mother. This was caused by Droni, Ashwathama, son of Acharya Drona, who killed the 5 sons of Draupadi while they were asleep, for which he was punished by Arjuna. Before commencing the great epic Srimad Bhagavatam, Shri Vyasadeva realized the whole truth by trance in devotion. Okay. So next, Vyasadeva's ashram. What is Vyasadeva's ashram? On the western bank of the river of Saraswati, which is intimately related with the Vedas. There is a cottage for meditation at Shamya Prasa, which enlivens the transcendental activities of the sages. Shamya Prasa in Himalayas, in Vadarika Ashram, Vyasadeva resides there. Nobody can go there. Madhvacharya said to me that he went there and he learned from Vyasadeva. So specially Prabhupada describes in this purport about ashrama. What is ashrama? For spiritual advancement, of knowledge, a suitable place and atmosphere are definitely required. The place on the western bank of the Saraswati is especially suitable for this purpose. And there is the ashrama of Vyasdeva at Shamyapras. So Vyasdeva was a householder, yet his residential place is called an ashrama. His residential place was called an ashrama. So Grihastha ashrama. So he was householder, he was Grihastha, still his place of residence is called ashrama. So an ashrama is the place where spiritual culture is always foremost. It does not matter whether the place belongs to a householder. It does not. Place might belong to a householder or a renunciate. So if the family life which aims for spiritual advancement of everyone involved there, it can be also called an ashrama. So then why there is a difference between sannyasa and brahmachari? The difference is a matter of formality, just a matter of formality. On the strength of renunciation, the sannyasis are held in high estimation on the strength of practical renunciation. The fact that they have given up their home is a practical renunciation. And as a matter of formality, the difference is there. So therefore, none of them are less important as far as spiritual culture is concerned. So that's Prabhupada's clear understanding, Prabhupada's clear message. Brahmacharis, Grihasthas, Vanaprasthas, Sannyasis all belong to the same mission of life, namely realization of the Supreme. Therefore, none of them are less important as far as spiritual culture is concerned. Okay, so now Vyasdev starts his meditation. Tasmin swa ashrame vyaso badaris shandamandite asinopya upasprishya pranidadhyo manah swayam. Nice sloka. Tasmin so ashrame vyasaha. In that place, Vyasdeva, in his own ashrama, which was surrounded by the berry trees, berry fruit. Actually, it says berry, badari is berry, but different types of berries are there. The specific, like badari is a specific type of berry that you get in Bengal. You get it. I don't know other parts of India how if there is there or not. Not in Mayapur also I saw in one two place, but in Bangladesh there are plenty of that. When I visited Bangladesh, lots of like berries are there. So it sat down to meditate after touching water for purification. Under instruction of spiritual master Srila Narad Muni, Vyasdeva concentrated his mind in that transcendental place of meditation. So now Vyasdeva, his transcendental vision. Thus, he fixed his mind, perfectly engaging it by linking it in devotional service, bhakti yoga, without any tinge of materialism. And thus, he saw the absolute personality of Godhead, along with his external energy, which was under full control. So, Vyasdeva, he was fixed in, he fixed his mind perfectly in devotional service, bhakti yoga. In full bhakti yoga without any tinge of materialism. Bhakti Yogena Manasi Samyak Pranihite Male. So it was not out of his mental concoction, but it was fully in Bhakti Yoga. So Apashyat Purusham Purnam Mayam Cha Tad Apashrayam. So perfect vision of the absolute truth is possible only by linking the process of devotional service. So Prabhupada talks different things here in this purport, that how to see the absolute truth, and about Shakti, energies of Supreme Personality of Godhead, marginal, internal, and external. He gives example analogies of moon, how the moon being the Supreme Lord, and the moonshine, we can say, being internal energy of Lord Antaranga, and darkness is Bahiranga, the external thing. Apashrayam and Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga is activity of internal energy of Lord. It's not external. All these things Prabhupada discussing in this purport, that how absolute truth is, absolute mention is here, is as the Purusha or person, is not impersonal, original person. So it talks about Apashrayam, how internal energy, external energy, how these things work. It is stated in the Bhagavad Gita, that the impersonal Brahman effulgence is also an emanation from the absolute truth, absolute thing. The Parama Purusha cannot be anyone except Sri Krishna himself. It will be explained in the later shlokas. So now in upcoming text 5, he talks about the external energy, Maya Shakti, Bahiranga Shakti, Ya Sammohito Jiva Atmanam Trigunaatmakam. Due to his external energy, the living entity, although transcendental to the three modes of material nature, thinks of himself as a material product of, and thus undergoes the reactions of material miseries. Due to this external energy, which external energy, what he talked in the previous verse, the living entity, although living entity is transcendental to the three modes of material nature, but thinks of himself as a material product, and thus undergoes reactions of material miseries. That's what happens. The root cause of suffering by the materialistic living beings is pointed out with remedial miseries, which are to be undertaken, and also the ultimate perfection to be gained. All this is mentioned in this particular verse. Okay. So the Purport Prabhupada discusses this, that what is the main cause of suffering, miseries for the attached living beings, and what's the solution for them. So the exact cause is Swarupa Brahm, forgetfulness of their real identity. That's their main thing. Living into the misunderstand himself to be material product. So that's the main cause. And Mayadevi is doing a thankless service, thankless task, responsibility, duty. Mayadevi knows the Supreme Lord doesn't want his devotees, his living beings to be bewildered. Mayadevi knows that Krishna doesn't want it, but still the system is made in such that way. It has to be done like that. Hmm. The Lord does not desire that living entity being illusioned by external energy. The external energy is aware of this fact, but still she accepts a thankless task of keeping the forgotten soul under illusion by her bewildering influence. And the Lord does not interfere with the task of the illusory energy, because such performances of the illusory energy are also necessary for the reformation of the conditioned soul. So it's necessary. Thankless task. Just like analogy is given, an affectionate father does not like his children to be chastised by another agent, yet he puts his disobedient children under the custody of a severe man just to bring them under control. Maybe a teacher, like I remember in my in my childhood days, my father, like I used to have home tutor. Uh, so my father used to tell him to go chastise. Like if he doesn't study, if he doesn't read, then he chastise. In fact, he would give a stick. It was the thing. Why did the Supreme Lord come? What is the main purpose of the incarnation of Supreme Personality of Godhead? That's there. So he comes, that's why, to help the living beings remember him, re-establish relationship between them, and to go back to Godhead. So the surrendering process is completed by influence of association. The Lord has suggested, therefore, that by the influence of the speeches of saintly persons who have actually realized the Supreme, men are engaged in his transcendental loving service. The conditioned soul gets a taste for hearing about the Lord, and by such hearing only, he is gradually elevated to the platform of respect. Within the heart of every living being, the Lord himself, as the super soul, Paramatma, becomes a spiritual master. And from without, he becomes a spiritual master in the shape of scriptures. Saints and initiator, spiritual master. Sometimes king goes to the prison house and try to convince the prisoners, the criminals, to be well, to behave well and all. Big purport, long purport. And Prabhupada also talks about how by association of pure devotees, one can surrender to Krishna. Sadhu Sangha, then Shravan of Harikatha, then Seva, then Shraddha, Bhakti, Asakti, then comes Sharanagati, and then one can get freed from Maya, Maya Mukti. Lord's mercy, how it comes in the form of. Actually, Maya Shakti is also a mercy of Krishna. Then inside you have Chaitya Guru, Super Soul, that's also mercy of Krishna. And then externally, Krishna gives us sadhu, devotees, he gives us scriptures, he gives us initiating spiritual master. Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is Maya Adhish, he is beyond Maya, not under the influence of Maya. Maya is under him. And then also he talks about how living souls who are in conditioned state. So Vyasdev, at first, he diagnosed the reason for their problem. The disease. What is the disease? It's Maya. So, like, how to get out of this disease? That's the next sloka, next verse. Bhakti Yoga. So another thing is the internal relationship between the Lord and his devotees are transcendental. So eternal relationship. Otherwise, the Lord would not have taken the trouble to reclaim the conditioned souls from clutches of Maya. It's eternal relationship, transcendental relationship. See, Vyasdev, first of all, he found out the actual disease of conditioned souls. Now, Anarthopasamam Shakshat Bhakti Yoga, the nice verse, the reason for Srimad Bhagavatam, purpose of Srimad Bhagavatam, we can see here. The material miseries of the world, of the living entity, which are superfluous to him, can be directly mitigated by the linking process of devotional service. But the mass of people do not know this, and therefore the learned Vyasadeva compiled this Vedic literature, which is in relation to the supreme truth. Which is in relation to the supreme truth. Okay. Anarthopasamam Shakshad. The anarthas, material miseries of a living entity, can be mitigated by the linking process of devotional service. Bhakti Yoga. Now, influence of Bhakti Yoga. So, Vyasdev, what all he saw? He saw the Lord, and he saw his different energies, namely internal energy, marginal energy, and external energy. He also saw his different plenary portions and parts of the plenary portions, namely his different incarnations. Also, specifically observed the unwanted miseries of conditioned soul, who are bewildered by the external energy. And at last, he saw the remedial measure of the conditioned souls, namely process of devotional service. At last, he saw that also. When the Lord is fully satisfied with the sincere efforts of the devotee, he may endow him with his loving transcendental service. Now, in the next verse, he says importance of hearing, Shravana. Okay, vision of Vyasadeva we saw. What is the significance of Vyasadeva seeing Maya? We saw. Vyasadeva saw that the Supreme Lord and his illusory potency in his meditation. Then he also saw the suffering of the conditioned soul and the cause of their suffering. They are being illusioned by the external energy. The remedial measures are suggested in the next verse. Okay. Now, text 7, oral reception is very important. Yasyam Vaishruyamanaayam Krishna Parama Purushe Bhakti Utpaddate Pumsam Shoka Moha Bhayapaha. Simply by hearing this Vedic literature, the feeling for loving devotional service to Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, sprouts up at once to extinguish the fire of lamentation, illusion, and fearfulness. Shavana, Srimad Bhagavati Mahamuni Krite, Vapare Ishware, hearing Srimad Bhagavata. So, see here, simply by hearing Vedic literature, Srimad Bhagavatam, The Supreme Personality of Godhead, devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead at once sprouts to extinguish the fire of lamentation, illusion, and fearfulness. Three things: lamentation, illusion, and fearfulness. So, when do we lament? When do you lament? We lament for the past. In the past, something happened. Oh, this happened, that happened. I did a mistake. There was an accident. Somebody uh, cheated me. We lament for the past, and illusion for the present. What should I do? Or should I do this? Or should I not do that? We get bewildered, we get illusioned in the present. And fearfulness is for the future. What will happen? Oh, what will I do? What will I eat? Where will I stay? What will happen to me after 5 years? Or if I do this, who will do that? What will happen that? So many things, concern, so many anxiety for the future. So lamentation for the past, illusion for the present, and fearfulness for the future. All these three coexist in us. So by doing bhakti and by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, lamentation for past, illusion for present, and fearfulness for future, all three extinguishes. That's a beautiful point. Prabhupada says that various other senses, but the ear is most effective. This sense works even when a man is deep asleep. One can protect himself from the hands of an enemy while awake, but while asleep, one is protected by the ear only. By the ear only. The importance of hearing is mentioned here in connection with attaining the highest perfection of life, namely getting free from three material pangs. Everyone is full of lamentation at every moment. He is after the mirage of illusory things and is always afraid of his supposed enemy. These are the primary symptoms of material disease. And it is definitely suggested here in that simply by hearing the message of Srimad Bhagavatam, one gets attachment for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. And as soon as this is affected, the symptoms of material disease disappear. Disappear. Okay. Toka moha bhayapaha. By hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, we get attachment. Yasam Vaishruyamanayam. By hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna Parama Purusha Bhakti Utpadyate. We get bhakti for Krishna, and that bhakti will diminish, extinguish Shokamoya Bhayapaha. So it starts with Shravanam. Shravan, then bhakti, then Shokamoha Bhayapaha. In second paragraph, Prabhupada talks about prema. What is prema? Talks about prema. Love for Krishna. Love is a word which is often used in relation with men and women. And love is the only word that can be properly used to indicate the relationship between Lord Krishna and the living entities. The living entities are mentioned as Prakriti. So Prakriti and Purusha. Then paragraph 3, Prabhupada talks that Krishna Katha and Krishna, no difference between Krishna Katha and Krishna. No difference between the Lord, subject matter, heard about him. No difference between him and the subject matter heard about him. So Krishna Katha, hearing Krishna Katha, and is directly Krishna, associating Krishna directly. No difference between that. Okay. And this paragraph Prabhupada talks that only. Re-establishing our relation with Krishna. Until we reach the stage of re-establishing our relationship with Krishna, the illusion of accepting the body as a self will prevail. And thus fearfulness will also prevail. So that's the only point that we have to re-establish the relationship. Now text 8 to 11 talks, Vyasadeva teaches Bhagavatam to Shukdev Goswami. Sasamhitam Bhagavatim. Great sage Vyasadeva, after compiling the Srimad Bhagavatam and revising it, taught it to his own son, Sri Shukdev Goswami, who was already engaged in self-realization. So Vyasadeva taught it. See, Vyasadeva revised it. That's the earlier only when Vyasadeva compiled Vedas and Puranas. There was Puranas. Among the 18 Puranas, Bhagavad Puran was also there. Like Amal Puran was also there. Now, this time Vyasadeva revised second edition of Bhagavatam and taught it to his own son, Shukdev Goswami, who was already engaged in self-realization. Srimad Bhagavat, what is Srimad Bhagavatam? It's for renunciation, Paramahamsas, for self-realization. In fact, it also acts, it also works in the heart of materialist people. And this is the solution, this is the medicine for curing material disease. 5,000 years back, it was compiled. Okay, the Srimad Bhagavatam. Before 5,000 years. Now in text 9, he says, Shaunak Rishi asked question about Shukdev Goswami. That Shukdev Goswami was already on the path of self-realization, and thus he was pleased with his own self. Okay. So why did he take the trouble to undergo the study of such a vast literature? He was already in self-realization. Okay, somebody full, somebody materialistic person, he is studying Bhagavatam, okay, fine. But Shukdev Goswami, already he was elevated person. Why did he need to undergo such extensive study of Srimad Bhagavatam? So for the people in general, the highest perfection of life is to cease from material activities and be fixed on the path of self-realization. Those who take pleasure in sense enjoyment or those who are fixed in material bodily welfare work are called karmis. Karmis. Srimad Bhagavatam should be studied by even the Atmaramas also. Okay, we'll see that in the next verse. Self-realized people, Atmaram. But point is that thousands and millions of people, human being, but rarely someone takes interest in self-realization. But Shukdev Goswami was one such. Now, the famous verse of Bhagavatam, Atmaramascha munayo nirgranthya pyurukramen kurvanti ahaitukim bhaktim ittham bhutaguno harihi. All different varieties of Atmaramas, those who take pleasure in Atma or spirit self, especially those established on the path of self-realization, though freed from all kinds of material bondage, desire to render unalloyed devotional service unto personality of Godhead. This means that the Lord possesses transcendental qualities and therefore can attract everyone, including liberated souls. He can attract everyone, including liberated souls. So, Atmarama. This verse is explained by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Explained this to vividly before his chief devotee Sanatana Goswami, then also in front of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. He points out 11 factors in the shloka, namely Atmarama, Munayaha, nirgrantha api cha udukrama kurvanti ahaitukim bhaktim ittham bhuta gunaha harihi. 11 ways he explains it. According to Vishwa Prakasha Sanskrit Dictionary, there are 7 synonyms for the word Atmarama, which is Brahman, uh, body, mind, endeavor, endurance, intelligence, personal habits, Swabhava. Munaya also refers to these 7 things: those who are thoughtful, those who are grave and or silent, ascetics, persistent, mendicants, sages, and saints. Mhm. The word Nirgrantha conveys these ideas: one who is liberated from the science, one who has no connection with spiritual injunction, scriptural injunction, Nirgrantha, no Grantha, who is freed from the obligation of the rules of regulations mentioned in revealed scriptures like ethics, Vedas, philosophy, psychology, metaphysics, in other words, fools, illiterate, and all this. Hari means two main things. Hari, then it goes in Hari. Hari means two things. One is he, Hari means stills, stills. So he, what does this still? He stills our amangala, inauspiciousness, and stills our mind and gives us love. Urukrama, and different ways. So nice, beautiful purport. Hetu means casual. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, it's described in great details. It's extensively, technically. Ni, see, certainly, counting, building, forbiddance, and so many other things. Hetu, Haribhakti Suddhata, according to that, Ittham Bhuta is complete bliss. Transcendental bliss in the realization of impersonal Brahman becomes comparable with the scanty water contained in the pit made by a cow's hoof. It is nothing compared to the ocean of bliss of the vision of personality of Godhead. Beautiful analogy is given there. Cow's hoof print, how much water can it contain? Very less. So that's compared to the entire material bliss and everything. And spiritual bliss is like ocean. Now, how 4 Kumaras got attracted to Krishna by smelling the tulsi leaf offered to the lotus feet of Krishna. Shukdev Goswami got attracted by hearing the pastimes of Krishna. The gopis got attracted by the beautiful form of Krishna. Rukmini Devi got attracted by hearing the glories of Krishna. Lakshmi Devi got attracted to Krishna by hearing the flute of Krishna. Then that elderly ladies got attracted to Krishna by mood of parenthood, Vatsalya Rasa. The man got attracted to Krishna by servitude and servitude and friendship, Sakya and Dasya. How everybody get attracted to Krishna beautifully. We are not going into much details here. Chaitanya Charitamrita is there. Now, why did Shukdev Goswami study this entire Bhagavatam? This such big, vast Bhagavatam. Shukdev Goswami is the son of Vyasdeva, who was not only transcendentally powerful, he was also very dear to devotees of the Lord. Thus, he underwent the study of this great narration, Srimad Bhagavatam. Shukdev Goswami underwent all this. According to Brahma Vaibhava Purana, Shukdev Goswami was liberated soul even within the womb of his mother. Vyasdeva knew that the child after his birth would not stay at home. Therefore, he impressed upon him the synopsis of the Bhagavatam so that the child could be made attached to the transcendental activities of the Lord. Practically, he was thrown from the impersonal conception of absolute, thinking himself within himself that he had simply wasted so much time. So it's generally impersonalists don't like devotees, Vaishnavas, and Vaishnavas don't like impersonalists. But the fact that Shukdev Goswami became a devotee from impersonalist, that's why devotees love him even more. Pure devotee. Harar Gunakshiptamati, even he got attracted to Krishna's beautiful pastimes. Harir Gunakshiptamati. When he got attracted to Krishna, his beautiful pastimes. Okay. So that's what, in fact, the Atmaramas means those who are self-satisfied. What satisfied means they do not need anything else of this world. They don't need iPhone. They don't need a good house. They don't need good food. They don't need good accommodation. Not good. They don't need good clothes. They don't need anything of this world to be happy. They are just happy in themselves. If you like, nothing can disturb them. Nothing can disturb them. That was Atmarama Shukdev Goswami. But that Shukdev Goswami also got attracted to Krishna. Hmm? Okay, so thus ends this section, and unit 2 of Bhakti Vaibhava of text from text 12 starts unit 3 next episode. So far 1.4.14 to 1.7.11, this section what we studied, Sutta Goswami answered question 1 asked in 1.4.3. What was that? That who compiled Bhagavatam? When did he compile Bhagavatam? Or how did he get the inspiration? What was the inspiration behind compiling Bhagavatam? That was the question. So about the history of Bhagavatam. Now he will answer question 2 asked in 1.4.9 to 11 about Maharaj Parikshit by first describing the events leading to his birth. We will see that in next class. So you should give your exam for unit 2. Haribol.